Chapter 6. The process of getting all the components in the stage performance aligned to make things happen has been daunting. The funny thing is, I would not have thought I was capable of it, but it went pretty smoothly. The sessions of design thinking I had with Sebastian really pinpointed the plan to a point where the action was clear, the roadmap was drawn out. I went to the football coach and he was in for it. I think he also had a soft spot for drama. Who would have known? But he said I had to put it to the team myself before training. I sold the idea as a sports anthem about winning, where they would be the embodiment of winning. I tried to calm any artsy vibe and outline their involvement in their footy jerseys, holding up signs as fans do in the stadium, as well as the shouting "Go Big" with some clapping. I showed them with a little projector I borrowed from the library, displaying on my laptop the GarageBand files that they were able to follow for the clapping, and were even practicing it a couple of times. They got the yelling "Go Big" very easily. The maroon and gold jerseys, the school colours, has set the colour scheme. Brett looked on without interruption, and I got the vibe that he thought I was brave. But what happens when there are very few people around is what counts. The laser harp was way cool, though a little insignificant in its impact compared to what I had seen on YouTube with Jean-Michel Jarre. And the rhythm to get the Morse code at that speed was difficult, but I suppose the audience won't be able to be that critical. Sebastian was great. It worked right off the bat with the small MIDI converter he bought that allowed me, with some mucking around, to get the images to come up in time with the music as well. He also borrowed a small smoke machine for that night. His suggestion of setting the beat with the marimba in the intro allowed me to easily get into the rhythm of the Morse code, and this made the transition into the MIDI composition easy. Of all the things that needed to get done, and there were a lot, I got it done. It was just now getting all of it to work on the night. Sue was on before us, so I had to calm down and get a good view from the side of the stage and give myself the time that I probably should have been organising everyone, but everything seemed on track. The music that she had chosen was dear to me. The opening of Philip Glass's Glassworks. It is romantic and swirling waves of incessant arpeggios that wash over you one after another. I didn't work it out, but I listened to one of those smart guys on podcast explain it to me, that the rhythm sounds the way it does because it's 3 beats on one hand and 4 on the other, building that tension and construction of waves that makes the body feel like an unsteadiness. She swayed like seaweed in the tides as she had no centre, but the music pushed and pulled at her. Sue's decision about her passion and possible career is in total alignment to her specific body shape. She was small and slender while still muscular, and knew instinctively the space around her. She told me she felt like a magnet being pushed and pulled around into dance steps. Even the way she walked is a thing, as if she sort of levitates. Her body was like ice melting in one position and forming in another. When she pulled her hair back and applied her makeup like she does when she dances, her face had this mannequin sort of feel, partly blank like an incredible, beautiful robot. I think in her head is a notion that she wants people to watch the spaces around her and the shapes her body makes in that space, but not her facial features. She wore a cling-fit, whole-body suit that gave such a clean line to her lithe body. I should mention here, hot. It was just her on stage with a bit of atmospheric lighting. That was austere but fitting, though I would have gone a bit more of sense of story than just demonstration of her body beautiful. That being said, I was captivated. The music didn't depart much from the trance of modulating arpeggios, but the light shrank to a thin beam of focused downlight, and she stood on a point so slender and motionless she nearly became invisible, then started to spin, expanding out her circles with expanding light that soon engulfed the stage. And as she had left parts of herself behind in every spot and every footstep, then she jumped across the stage, and in one jump, with her arms held high, she caught a swing that didn't return to the floor. Standing on the swing, she pulled on the other ropes that also waved, that at-sea feel, being on a boat somewhere at its mercy, until she swung over the edge of the stage and the front row of the audience, and then jumped a final pose on the front of the stage. The audience was well appreciative, and she ran off and I gave her a hug. I didn't think that was appropriate and a little too forward, but I was taken aback and told her that she was inspiring. Then I ran back to check on everything. The smoke machine kicked in, billowing out clouds within a quite dark stage. A single laser beam shot up to the ceiling, mid-center stage, and through the mirror, sending a line across the top of the audience. The laser danced with the clouds of smoke as it wafted across the stage, and then a slow, deep marimba note, counting off every 4 beats, and I came to the center front stage feeling very anxious and put my white gloved hands in the beam, breaking the long line over the audience, creating consistent high synthesizer note as the marimba ramps up to play 4 beats to the bar, building the tension in sound with the synthesizer crescendos. I'm wearing my dark glasses and I started the disjointed rhythm, and the audience had very little way of knowing what it was. It was not that musical. The second time I beep out the rhythm, the screen ignites with the sequence of single giant letters, G, O, B, I, G. Sebastian had rigged it up for them to be triggered by the MIDI signal from the music. And with the third sequence, the incredibly large wooden banners that were on the ground were heaved up by ropes by 2 of the footballers with the words go, and then it was released to flop back down with the light swoosh that sends the smoke into a frenzy, while another banner is raised that the same way with the words big. This happened as I yell out the words into the microphone in time with the banners and trumpet stabs, in a call to arms rather than any reference to singing Go Big. A downlight highlight one section of the chorus as about 6 footballers stage left facing across the stage, who as the sequence continues yells the word GO and punch with their fists out a sort of defiance in the direction of the other chorus of 8 footballers, who are then illuminated and reply with a response with both hands thrust above their heads, face onto the audience in a triumphant V, while I still playing over the Morse code. The screen in the back explodes with gold flashes, really quickly lighting up the stage, then dissolves in time with the display of the GarageBand MIDI blocks indicating the timing for the yelling and the clapping in coloured bars. A small group of the most proficient clappers in the football team, including Brett, who added another layer of rhythm and who are lit from the stage edge in the same rhythm. The audience was encouraged to join in, and some do. The screen on the left flashes colours to the drum beat, which is a syncopation, another rhythm, and then that draws people in from one rhythm to another, and it all contrasts the trumpet melody. and in the background the screens displayed a very slow motion jet fighter coming in from a landing on an aircraft carrier and gets captured by the cable across the tarmac deck. Then the Morse code section stops abruptly on go, and the stage goes black with both choruses in darkness, and I pick up these illuminated thin cone-shaped lights dancing like those from the ground crew to communicate to the pilot to turn and stop, ending with a crouch point with one leg stretched out and pointing in the direction of the launch as another jet erupts off the end of the carrier. I don't think we could use the word dance, but it was a lot of movement. We all start the next section of Morse code, with me playing the laser harp and the big words hoisted in the sequence. The chorus of hand gestures and the yelling ping-pong from side to side.
Hey!
And the clappers, including Brett, pump up the audience, and to their credit, the audience starts getting really into it. Another boy from the school band comes across the stage left with a large marching band bass drum, creating a sort of conga line of the chorus of football jersey lumps of boys trying to get into step with the rhythm of boom, 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 while still yelling and punching out their physical protest. Against this, the screen shows a stream of football video clips of our team in various aspects of winning. Tackling, breaking the defence, catching bombs, scoring with exuberance and hugging each other. Yes, I thought because of Brett problem and the situation, I would concentrate on the team, which went down well. The big finale of another Morse code section where everything gets crazy with exuberance as the audience really gets into it. Brett stands next to me and is using his intimidation techniques and pointing at people who are not participating. And even though I feel slightly uncomfortable for these people, they seem to be energized by the fact that they are participating with yelling and hand claps, and in the end hoisted on the shoulders of some of the players, obviously stopping the Morse code. But the marimba and the horns carry on, and the chorus pumping at the conga lines where the stage behind the booming bass drum. The end is all of us walking off the stage to tumultuous applaud, with the audience pretty pumped. The marimba and the trumpet still looming over what the dark stage, punctuated by a single laser pointer up across the audience. I get everyone to get back on stage and bow. And as a last effort, I put my hand on the laser and it all goes silent, except for the clapping of the audience. Wow. Quite a big affair. I was pretty pumped, and so was everybody backstage. Even Brett congratulated me, saying, "I didn't think you could pull it off, but that was big." I was going to say, do you think you want to do more stage work? But I think it might have been a one-off, but instead I said, "Cool, thanks. You really got the crowd going. Great job." Sebastian came up to me really excited and shook my hand saying, "That was quite an achievement, way beyond my expectation and beyond what I think I could have done myself. Congratulations." My mother and Miss Harper were coming over to me, and Sebastian took his leave quickly, not to bring up the question of Miss Harper's endorsement of the whole mentorship, which he made up. So it was a close call unless they started talking about him, but I think Leon's triumph would have been much higher on the agenda. I run into Sue outside, and I'm never one to be a sweet talker, but I just blurt out that I'd really love to work with her in building a show. I sort of didn't even know myself that I was going to say that, but it seemed to go down well. Let's talk about it tomorrow at lunch in the library, but I don't think I want the football team in the show, if you don't mind. That was just a one-off, to get some guys off my back. Are you referring to Brett? Yeah, I hope it worked. I think you should be right, for a couple of weeks at least, and giggles as her parents whip her away.